The new SMG exotic just dropped and it's pretty goddamn cool looking, I think. I got it yesterday. But the Taken Path quest, line of missions to just unlock the exotic quest itself, does take a little time to do, especially if you want to do it solo, but it's very workable. Also, there's a few glitchy parts and some grindy, but all fine with any loadout you want, and the mechanics are straightforward for the most part. In this video, I'll guide you with as much detail as I can to make it clear and easy. Okay, to pick up the quest, you need to load into the Nether on the Dreadnought. I thought that you needed to look for a big blight in the Court of Oryx, but actually the blight will randomly spawn wherever you load into first, so you don't need to go there. So if it's not there when you load in, reload the activity until it is. Take a look around the area to see if you can find one big taken blight, usually in the upper area near a roof. Once you find the blight, jump on in, and then you'll be transported to a blue space, where you'll find a panel on the ground and a circle in front of you. Look at where the panel on the ground is pointing to first. You will also see a prompt on the left-hand side of the screen to tell you where you should move after you shoot the panel to make the hive rune appear. So, stand on the panel on the ground, shoot the circle. The rune appears, and then you move in the direction you are being told to move. Remember this mechanic as it will come up quite a few times, and also in the actual exotic quest itself. Once you've done this correctly, you'll then be transported beyond the barrier in front of you, and you'll have a pedestal that has a taken osseous fragment. Take this. Now jump back to orbit and head to Eris's apartment. Go to the shaping slab in the corner, and you now will get the quest line of the Taken Path. The Taken Path will give you objectives to complete that will eventually get you to the actual exotic weapon quest called Derealize. Now, you need to apply the Scoptic rune in the Tome of Want. So open the runic enhancement screen in the Tome of Want and pick the Activate the Scoptic rune. I needed to turn off one of my other runes to turn that one on, so keep an eye on that. So just in case you think you need to do more farming to unlock it, you don't. But realize you do need to be rank 4 with the vendor to earn enhancement level 2. So if you're still not there, a few runs in the Nether should do the trick. You will now be on the hunt for 2 osseous fragments. One is in the Lost Sector in Sorrow's Harbour on the moon. Find the yellow bar boss and kill them and pick up the fragment. The same mechanic to step on the plate and shoot the rune, then move, will also be present here to actually give you the fragment. The other one is in the Forgotten Shore Lost Sector in the DZ, do the same. Once you have these 2 fragments, you need to go back and visit the shaping slab in Eris's apartment once again. Now, you will pick up 3 more individual missions with individual tasks within these missions to progress. The 3 quests are the Curse of Endurance, which is at the Altars of Sorrow, the Curse of Urgency, which is at the Hollowed Grove in the EDZ, and the Curse of Revenge, which is in the Nightmare Hunt Pride. You need to kill Taken with the relic that you will pick up in these areas, charge it up, and deposit it in a statue or a blight area. For the last step of each of these 3 curses, we'll head back to the Nether to find more taken fragments. By this point, all 3 curse quests should be on the same step. So in total, you're looking for 3. This is where we found our first statue outside the main arena of the Trenchway in the Dreadnought. You will need to activate 3 statues, which will spawn a yellow bar enemy. Once you kill the yellow bar, return to the statue, and you will get another fragment. You need to do this 3 times in total, with different statues in different locations in the Dreadnought. We found one in the Trenchway here, one in the Mausoleum, here, and one in the Hall of Souls. Here. Rinse and repeat the same process for each. Once this is complete, this will now give you the actual exotic mission where you can get the Barrow Dyad, Derealize. You start in the boss area of the Mausoleum and make your way out of there by defeating Tormentors, Subjugators, and hiding from the massive eyes in the air that cast suffocating terror on you. The activity had a 25% surge on SMGs, and I was running Arc, so leaning into that new Arc bolt charge and using barricades as a Titan dealt some really chunky damage against the meteor bosses. There's no champions, and Arc and Strand, our elemental surges, meant that we moved through the area clearing pretty quickly. Machine gun heavies, including Thunderlord, were my go-to, so use that if you want to. After we cleared the area, we went straight through a portal to the Trenchway to defeat Vrisk, Seeker of Power, which is the first encounter, and was an enclosed area, so add clear and get bosses down to about 10% of its health, and an immunity barrier goes up. Keep clearing until 2 of the ogre minions will appear. You need to kill them to spawn a taken relic. Grab the relic and clear the next pack of adds to charge it. The person holding the weapon doesn't need to land the kills, the adds just need to be eliminated. Once charged, you'll need to deposit the relic in a location where your HUD will tell you. Completing this will activate Torn Between Dimensions, same buff from King's Fall. But here there's no real downsides. Grab the second relic, charge it, and then deposit it on top of a blight to remove Risk's shield. Use your supers and keep a distance. you should be able to take them down pretty handily, really. Once Frisk is down, you'll be thrown into a hive trap that you can't escape from. But this is just another puzzle. Remember the plate at the start of the Taken Path quest? This puzzle works the exact same, but with 4 plates instead of 1. You'll be presented with 4 hive runes in order from left to right. Each room you teleport to will correspond with a rune, which you can deduce by standing on that room's plate. Your goal is to activate all 4 runes in the correct order. Looking at the other runs as well as our own, this mechanic should be started from the left to right. Once again, if the plate on the floor below the runic symbol points to the right of the rune, you should strafe to the right. You're activating the runes in order. If the room you get is for a rune later in the sequence, sit still and wait to be teleported when the timer runs out. This can be super glitchy, and we were unfortunately stuck doing this for way too long. So if the room rotation timer runs out and you are not teleported, then reset your rune progress by strafing in the direction of the floor plate that it tells you, but don't do anything with the symbol. This will clear your progress and you just start again. Hopefully you won't need to do that too many times. If you get this right, you'll see each of the runes disappear from left to right one at a time. Repeat this process for all 4 runes until you're freed from jail. The next section is pretty straightforward. It's a jumping puzzle. Well, at least the first part is straightforward. So, just follow the path shown on screen and don't die as much. I suck at jumping, so dying was just going to happen, right? You will be jumping into holes in the walls of hive sacks and in and out of hive structures that kind of look like massive hive shrieker housing. If you get lost, make sure to look for holes in the walls with crystals right on top of the roofing. These will be safe to enter and will not have a pointy pistol ram thing that will push you out of the hole and kill you outright. There's lots of these little pistol things. I swapped to Strand for this part, and it took way too much time, but we got there in the end. What you're looking for is a hive barrier with 3 hive rune locks. This is where you need to go. There will be 3 purple crystals placed around the area that you need to shoot to take the barrier down and remove each rune. There's 1 crystal on the left side and 2 on the right. These crystals can be set anywhere, including across the chasm. So do a full search, shoot the 3, and then you progress. Climb to the top of the path and proceed. Follow the tentacles on the other side of the chasm to reach the boss arena. You'll see a big archway that will scream boss arena. You'll also see a large plate in front of the archway, and this will be important at the very end of the fight, so take a mental note. Inside the room is where you'll fight a pair of hive knights. 1 torn and another in the other physical realm. You start the encounter when you run into the room and grab the Barrow Dyad on the altar. Don't worry, once you grab it, your teammates also get it. The main focus of this fight is that you'll be alternating DPS phases between each knight. I suggest anything that you're comfortable with and gives good DPS and you're just comfortable using. Maybe use the Queen Breaker with the new Catalyst. It's doing some pretty good numbers right now, so that's a solid bet. You will also need to keep an eye on your health, especially with the ground being covered in blight in 1 realm. You'll be damaging each knight throughout the entire encounter. Shooting blights around the space will remove their shields. If you know that the lower level knight is always the vulnerable one, that helps a lot. The knights rotate from upper to lower area and the ground becomes covered with blights, so keep to the back of the arena and use the pillars for cover as much as possible. Keep chipping away at the health on each rotation and eventually you'll do enough damage to both that you'll need to run outside the arena where the large plate that I mentioned earlier will be glowing. Run onto the hive capture plate. Stand in it for a few seconds. You'll stack suffocating darkness just standing there, but you should be able to close the door well before the 20 stacks. This is the end of the quest, where you'll close the doors and essentially trap them both in the prison that Oryx set for them previously. Return to the slab in Eris's apartment to claim the Barrow Dyad's second exotic quest, which is tied to unlocking the weapon's additional crafting options. You'll need to run around the Dreadnought again to unlock intrinsic perks, and there are some that are gatekept until Act 2, so just be happy you have the Barrow Dyad in all its circular glory. Enjoy!
Wow, this has just been such a pleasure. I'm such a lucky boy. I can't wait to go home